You are listening to The Final Score with Stevie Fly.
What's up, guys? It is Wednesday night, January 28th, 7:19 p.m. Getting started a little early today. I just didn't feel like waiting around till 7:30. Ready to go. And wow, what a weekend! Uh, NFL, the conference championship games were this weekend. Um, ice, baby, everywhere this weekend. It seemed like, well, luckily, um, we were blessed to keep power the whole time, so I got to watch both of the games. I know some people were without power, and man, I feel sorry for you guys. I hope you guys stayed warm. And uh, just a nasty weekend. Started Sunday. Ice everywhere, and now they're talking about snow coming this weekend. So who knows? Who knows? All you people out there during the summer that were wishing for, I want the winter to get here. I hope you're outside in it every day, playing in it, doing whatever. You enjoy it, because I'm ready for warm weather. Anyway, like I said, we had the AFC and NFC Championship games this weekend. Um, one good game, and one, it just seems like there's always one sloppy game every weekend this year. And this, no fault of their own. You're playing in a blizzard in Denver. It's going to be sloppy, but we'll get to that in a minute. We got coaches being hired, coaches taking themselves out of coaching vacancies. They don't want to be interviewed, but I think we have just two vacancies in the NFL for coaches right now. That's the Cardinals and the Raiders right now. Believe it or not, the Browns were not the last one to hire a coach. Somebody actually wanted to coach the Browns. And believe it or not, an assistant coach of the Browns is mad because he was passed over for the job. He's ready to leave now. So anyway, we'll get into all that in just a few minutes. So coaching changes. And you guys know, diehard Steeler fan, Mike Tomlin, after 19 years, resigns from Pittsburgh. And this is just, in my lifetime, will be the fourth coach that the Steelers have ever had in my lifetime. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. Now, the key to that, the thing that each one of those coaches, each one of those three coaches had, they were young, up-and-coming assistant coaches. And that's where you figure that Pittsburgh's going to go. They're going to want somebody young. They're going to want somebody just nobody's ever heard of. Wrong. Wow. So Saturday at work, I get a text from one of my good friends, Mr. Eric Sawyer, who's been a host on this show before. And it just read, Mike McCarthy, ? And I was like, no. Please, God, no. So, yeah, Pittsburgh hires Mike McCarthy, former Dallas head coach, former Green Bay head coach, was fired from both of those jobs. Won a Super Bowl with Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. But am I mistaken? Am I not hearing this right? Because I'm hearing a lot of people say, well, maybe they hired him to get Aaron Rodgers to come back. Didn't Aaron Rodgers have something to do with him getting fired from Green Bay? Didn't he change the play calls a lot? I mean, am I imagining that? I don't know. But anyway, Mike McCarthy is the new head coach at Pittsburgh. And, at first I'm like, and I'm still skeptical. I still am. I watched the press conference he did. I heard a lot of things. I saw him get emotional because he's from that area. He's from Pennsylvania. This is my team, and I hope he will carry that over and use that enthusiasm and do some things with the Steelers. But we will see. I've talked to a lot of Steeler fans. It hasn't gone over very well with anybody that's a Steeler fan that I know of. But we'll see. I'm willing to give it a shot. What are they going to do? If I say no, are they going to fire him? I hate they turned down. They turned my application was just torn up, I guess. So moving on from that, Joe Brady. We talked about Sean McDermott last week being fired from the Bills. And Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator for the Bills, gets promoted to head coach. Not surprising. I mean, I figured I'm sure Josh Allen is comfortable with Brady. But here's the thing. Phillip Rivers, former San Diego Chargers or LA Chargers quarterback, former Indianapolis Colts quarterback as of this year. He just retired again. Was brought in for an interview for the Bills head coaching job. Believe it or not, that's true. I saw it and I was like, this is some AI. But yeah, he was bought in. Don't know how serious that was, but had to be something. Thank you, Brian Mullen, for the like. Also, you've got former LA Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter goes to the Ravens as their new head coach. Probably a good hire there. I do like that hire. And the Ravens move on. Their offensive coordinator has left them and has gone to the Browns. Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken is now the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns. You think this guy has seen the Browns enough. Why would you want to coach him? And this was something that everybody was saying that he was going to be the new offensive coordinator for the Giants with John Harbaugh going to the Giants, and John Harbaugh wanted to bring him there, and they had been together for a while. But nope, he decided to go to Cleveland. And now, of course, Cleveland can't do anything without some controversy. So their defensive coordinator, Jim Schwartz, he was a finalist for the head coaching job. He's saying now he doesn't plan on staying with the Browns, even though he's under contract. He's not going to stay. He's going to quit. He's so ticked off. He basically told the owners to go screw themselves. It's something with Cleveland all the time, guys. Something with Cleveland all the time. So now, and also former New York Giants head coach Brian DeBall, he's gone to the Tennessee Titans, new offensive coordinator there. So you got two vacancies left. You got the Cardinals and the Raiders, which the Raiders, who knows when they'll get theirs. It should be coming. Hopefully, both of these will be coming in the next couple of weeks because you got the Senior Bowl getting ready to happen this weekend, I believe. The practices are going on. And you want your coaches in place in plenty of time before the draft so they can have their game plan together. So it should be coming in the next week or so. So also another thing we got to talk about. It's a big two more things to talk about before we get into these games. Just big news. The Pro Bowl, or the Pro Bowl games. I'm sorry, Pro Bowl games. It's not the Pro Bowl anymore. It's just the games. They're playing games. They play flag football. It's like if you're old enough to remember, which if you're old as I am, you remember they used to have the Battle of the Network Stars. I think ABC. I always wondered who 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 came up with that, how ABC got to have it all the time, and why these other networks like for them to be on the opposing team's channel. I mean, does that make sense? But anyway, so that's what the Pro Bowl games are now. It's Battle of the Network Stars, NFL style. So it's nothing like when I was a kid. When I was a kid, they took it serious. They played the week after the Super Bowl. They went to Hawaii. The players still the players that win the Super Bowl the week before, they played in the Pro Bowl game. They wanted to win. It was competitive. But somewhere along the way, sometime after Sean Taylor disintegrated the punter for the Bills, I think he was for the Bills, it stopped being competitive. It started really turning into a joke. And it is a full-blown on joke now. So where am I getting with this? This is a soapbox I've been on for years. But because Drake May made the Super Bowl, they had to pick another quarterback from the AFC to make the Pro Bowl, which is supposed to be an honor. You're a Pro Bowl quarterback. You played your butt off to deserve a Pro Bowl selection. They picked Shedeur Sanders from the Cleveland Browns. Now, I have nothing against Shedeur Sanders. Nothing. But you're going to tell me that this guy who had 1,400 passing yards, 7 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, 56.6% completion, 169 yards rushing, a rushing touchdown. He's a Pro Bowl quarterback on a losing team. All I can say is the Pro Bowl selection committee must be the same committee that picks which jerseys get retired for Colorado football. Because this is a joke. This is a joke. C.J. Stroud, as bad as he played in the playoffs, had a better year than Shedeur Sanders. Trevor Lawrence. Go through all the quarterbacks in the AFC and tell me how he got picked. Unless all of the other ones, and I can't blame them if they did, all the other ones turned it down. It's ridiculous, guys. And believe me, nothing against Shedeur. But it's just ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous. So one more, the big thing going around. Pro Football Hall of Fame. Bill Belichick, his first year eligible for the Hall of Fame. And guys, if you've listened to me over the years, I am not a Bill Belichick fan. Not a fan of him at all. But do I think he's a bad coach? No, I think he's a great coach. What's up, Dave? Bill Belichick won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, 2 as an assistant coach, so 8 Super Bowls he has been a part of coaching, and in a dynasty with the Patriots. Granted, Tom Brady was there. He didn't have such a good time when Tom Brady wasn't there. He is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, guys. How does this happen? Well, I've heard the Bill Polian stuff, that he said he couldn't remember if he voted for him. Come on, dude. I've heard that the Deflategate controversy, the Spygate controversy played into it. As much dislike as I had for that Patriots dynasty and for Belichick, that's where you separate. These people that are voting can't separate personal feelings for professionalism. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, Bill Belichick, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Tom Brady is not one of the greatest, if not the greatest NFL player of all time. You're not going to get an argument from me. Did I like him? No, I didn't like him. But God knows the proof's in the pudding. His track record speaks for itself. There's no way, no matter what you feel personally about Bill Belichick, that he should not be a first ballot NFL Hall of Famer. It's personal feelings coming in on somebody, and they need, here's what, and I know the NFL came out and said today, if something like that should happen, they can take away their voting rights, certain people's voting rights. If personal feelings are coming into the picture. Or put out who the ones were that didn't vote for him and let them defend themselves. I just don't get it. And, Eli Manning, I think he was up for it. He was up first year he was eligible was last year. Didn't make it in. Didn't make it in again this year. I've seen worse quarterbacks get in the Hall of Fame than Eli Manning. And you say some of these quarterbacks, well, they never won a Super Bowl. They never carried their team to a Super Bowl. Eli carried his team to 2 Super Bowls, beat the Patriots both times, ended the Patriots' undefeated quest for an undefeated season in 2 classic games. But he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Come on. Whoever these voters are, they need to make themselves known. Let's see who voted against them and to give them the reason why. Give us a valid reason why. I just don't get it, guys. And like I said, I am not a Belichick fan. But no way you keep that guy from being a first ballot Hall of Famer. Crazy. Let's see. Okay, so one more story, and we'll end it with that. The current stories with that. We'll get into our recap. Buffalo. One of their problems this year was wide receivers. Well, upcoming free agent, and I guess now you can safely say former Baltimore Raven DeAndre Hopkins, who's near the end of his career, came out and said, me and Josh Allen could do some damage together. He's the kind of player I could play with. So guess he's not coming back. Guess he didn't like Lamar too well. It's going to be interesting, guys, to see the landscape around the NFL this year with some of these coaching changes, like with the Ravens, the Steelers, with Harbaugh going to the Giants, with the Bills. Uh, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm looking forward, really, really looking forward to next year in the NFL. So let's get to the AFC and NFC Championship games. First, we'll start off with the AFC. The Patriots travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. Of course, it's going to be cold weather. I mean, you're in Denver. And you've got Jarrett Stidham starting for the first time in over 400 days, over a year. The last time he started a game, he was with the Raiders. And guess what's coming to Denver? Winter weather. Blizzard's coming. Doesn't start off that way. Of course, I picked the Patriots to win this game. And I said the only way Denver wins this game is if their defense steps up and can make some stops. And Stidham can keep the offense on the field and give the defense some rest. Manage the game. He doesn't have to really, per se, win the game as long as he manages the game and doesn't lose the game. And to start off, it looked like that might happen. Of course, the first drive for both teams was feeling it out. You know, run the ball, try to pass. Didn't happen. But the second possession for the Broncos, Stidham, when he dropped back to pass and he aired it out. I mean, he let it go and hits Mims for like a 50-yard pass that gets him down inside the red zone. And a couple plays later, he gets a 6-yard pass to Cam Sutton for the touchdown. 7-0. Well, New England's offense at that first quarter especially, and most of the first half, to tell you the truth, couldn't do anything. Denver was getting to May. Wasn't good. They didn't have good passes, and some of the ones he had that were good that would get dropped. So they hold New England. New England's not doing anything. And Stidham's getting confidence now. After that long pass and that touchdown, he's getting confidence. He's moving them down the field. Gets them down inside the red zone. 4th and 1. Chip shot field goal right here, guys. Nope, not if you're Sean Payton. If you're Sean Payton, you decide, I'm with a backup quarterback. I'm going to go for it on 4th and 1. Doesn't get it. So guess what, guys? Here's things you don't do. You don't take points off the board or chance at points. And this was before the bad weather came in. The field was... My dog is... The field was in good shape. And you could have kicked that field goal. Take 3 points off the board. Chance at a 2-possession game with your defense playing lights out and winter weather coming in. Took the momentum away from you when you didn't get that. Didn't really change things right away. Denver gets the ball back after holding New England again, and Stidham makes a terrible, terrible mistake right before the half. Drops back on a 3rd and long, holds the ball too long, tries to get rid of it, but he throws a backwards pass that the Patriots recover. And it went to review. At first, it was ruled incomplete. Goes to review, and it was a backwards pass. A couple plays later, touchdown. Instead of being 10-0, Denver is 7-7 tied up at the half. The second half is just sloppy football on both sides. Snow moves in, and I mean, field goals missed. There's several field goals missed on both teams. New England manages to get one to go up 10-7. And then it was almost like Stidham's confidence just went away. He couldn't get anything going with their offense. And Drake May used his legs and made plays when he had to. There was a flea flicker that got a key first down for him. But they missed a field goal on that. His legs, especially the last play before they started down in the ball, the one that clinched it, he ran a naked bootleg that nobody else in the huddle knew he was going to do it. So, game over. Patriots move on to the Super Bowl. 10-7. Mike Vrabel, heck of a coach. But did the better team win, guys? And I know injuries are a part of the game. Bo Nix is in that game. Patriots aren't making it. Everybody talks about now about how Patriots had the easiest run to a Super Bowl of any team they've ever seen. Guys, let me tell you this. Patriots can't help who got put in front of them. They can only beat and play who is on their schedule. It's not their fault. I mean, that's just like saying, well, guess what? I know our schedule was pretty easy this year, and I know we won the AFC East, but I think we're going to turn down the playoffs. No, you ain't going to do that. Look, they beat Houston. C.J. Stroud helped them a lot, but they beat them. They beat who they had to beat to get here. And you never know. You sure don't have a shot if you don't get there. So they've got a shot now. Stranger things have happened. We'll get to that in a minute, but I just blame Sean Payton for this. You don't want to blame anybody, but I blame Sean Payton for this loss. I go back and I said it if you were watching me live this past Sunday while I was watching the game, when it happened, I said, remember this. Mark this right here. And tell me, let's talk about it when the final score, no pun intended. Excuse me. Let's see what the final score is. If it's 3 points, then we got a problem. And it was. Sean Payton lost that game for his team. But too late now. Too late to cry with spilled milk. The next game, the NFC Championship game, the LA Rams, travel to Seattle to take on the Seattle Seahawks. The third time they played this year. Darnold versus Stafford. And you know, guys, I have said all through, even before the playoffs started, Stafford was going to have to not Stafford. Darnold was going to have to prove it to me. He was going to have to prove it to me. Well, guess what? I said it last week after what they did to the 49ers. And I'm saying this. The guy played his butt off. 25 for 36, 346 yards, 3 touchdowns. Talking about exercising demons. Sam Darnold got some demons off of him this year. Even after last year with Minnesota, winning all the games they won in Minnesota, when he got to the playoffs against the Rams, didn't perform well. Going into this game, the 2 regular season games against the Rams, 6 interceptions. He threw 6 interceptions in 2 games versus the Rams this year. And comes out like that. Having Jackson Smith-Njigba and Cooper Kupp does not hurt either. When you've got weapons, and Smith-Njigba, the way he runs his routes, it's been a long time since I've seen somebody that runs his routes and does it. I mean, it's just like so effortless. And he's running them like precision-like. And I'm like, I was watching him the other night, and I was like, this guy is like a robot. He's running routes like it was amazing to me the other night, especially the other night. Talking about exercising some demons too. Cooper Kupp, longtime LA Ram, caught the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl against the Bengals. Left the Rams, or was forced out of the Rams. The Rams pretty much told he was done. He was washed up. Telling other teams not to sign him because he was washed up. He catches a touchdown. Now, I'm not so sure about that catch they said he made for that first down. That's another one that goes into the discussion of what a catch is for me. Whoops, excuse me. But got some feedback. Anyway, it'll pass. But Matthew Stafford made sure he found Cooper Kupp after the game to congratulate him. Key plays of these games. What's the guy's name? And I can't remember his name now. The taunting penalty. Seattle pretty much kept a 2-score game. The Rams will pull into 4. Seattle would score a touchdown and move it back to 11. But there was a time when they could have really put it out of reach. Get the Rams off the field. They hold them on a 3rd down play from about midfield. And a taunting penalty called on the defensive back for the Seahawks. Gives 15 yards and gets the Rams pumped up. I'm trying to get this feedback. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. But the Rams come down and Stafford throws a touchdown to Puka. And all of a sudden it's a 4-point. And the Rams are fired up. And probably, and I'm going to tell you, Rams fan, one of my good friends from the land down under over there in Australia, Jack Pinocchio, me and him were talking. And the first thing we talked about after the game was over with was the fumbled punt return. Rams get it. Rams hold them. And get this kid drops back for the punt. Xavier Smith, He had fumbled one punt before, and luckily he fell on it, got it back. This one not so lucky. He falls down on his back. Ball hits him in the chest, bounces off. Seattle recovers. One play later, Sam Darnold throws a touchdown. And that was the difference in the game. Unbelievable. But this was the game. This was a game I could go back and watch. There's not a whole lot of games if it's not a Steelers game or old Redskins games that I could go back and watch and enjoy. This game I could go back and watch and enjoy. Seattle gets to the Super Bowl. Was this what you guys, no disrespect to the Patriots, but a lot of people are saying this was the Super Bowl championship game right here. It was just that the Patriots can't compete with the Seahawks. I mean, looking at it on paper, guys, it should be easy work for Seattle. But that's why they play it on the field. If you go back to a lot of games, and one that sticks out every time when I think about somebody shouldn't have won and did. 1983 NCAA championship game, basketball, State and Houston. I remember reading in a book that one of the reporters wrote the day before the State-Houston game that NC State's best chance to win would be if Houston got in a bus wreck on the way to the basketball game. You never count anybody out, but Seattle definitely playing the best football out of anybody. I mean, you look at New England offense. What did they do in this game, guys? They did nothing. Drake May ran and had a couple of plays where he got first downs, but Stidham gave him the ball inside the 20. That's the only time they scored a touchdown. That's the only time they scored a touchdown, guys, was when Stidham get. After that one field goal, and they missed a few field goals, but they didn't come. I wasn't like thinking at any time that they were going to light it up. And granted, the snow had a lot to do with that. I'll give them that. But if you think, Denver's got a good defense, no doubt about it. Seattle's defense they fly all over the place, and they like to hit. They like to hit too, guys. It's not like, oh, okay, I got you down. They want to hurt you. And I just don't, I'm not going to get into my picks for the game. We'll do that next week. But New England versus Seattle, rematch. You think if, what's his name, Montgomery has got first and goal for the one with time running out, he's going to try to throw the ball across the middle, Pete Carroll? I don't think so, dude. I don't expect it to be that close where that's going to matter, but stranger things have happened. Camden White, Kool-Aid, calling you out. Your Seahawks made it, buddy. Happy for you. Yeah, guys, it's hard to believe we're getting to the end of football. NFL, it seems like it just started. And it's kind of depressing, to tell you the truth, because that's That's what I love is football. I love all sports, but as I've gotten older, NFL just stuck with me for some reason. I still love to watch some basketball. Baseball, I don't really. I mean, I will, but NFL football, that has been my love. Football has been my love since I was old enough to know what a football was. I wanted to play it. I wanted to know everything about it. I loved coaching it because that was the closest thing for me to get back on the field again was to be the coach, living vicariously through those players and seeing it's nothing like it's. I will say this, and people may disagree with me, and that's fine. Football is a sport like no other sport. The teamwork in football is, and there were guys that I played with, and I'm sure there was guys on every team that people played with. I really didn't like that much at times, especially at times. Oh yeah, but on Friday night for 48 minutes, you weren't gonna mess with them. Anybody that was wearing red and white with me, you were not gonna. Nobody was gonna mess with them. You mess with them, you're gonna mess with me. And I would love to go back with those same teams. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I'd go back in a heartbeat with those teams that I played with those guys that I played with. I remember so many things about football. I remember some about basketball and baseball, but football sticks out. When I got somebody gave me some videotapes. It's been a year ago. It was the old games from the school that I went to, and they wanted them put on DVD. And one of the tapes I come across was my ninth grade JV football championship game. I sat there with my mom and watched it. And I could tell you everything that was getting ready to happen. That had been, see, it's been almost 40 years now. And at that time, it had probably been 25, 30 years when I watched it for the first time. I knew every play that was getting ready to happen. And I can't remember sometimes what I'm supposed to get from the grocery store to bring home that day. Football, sports, but football sticks out for me, guys. To this day, there's nothing like football for me. Anyway, before I get too sappy, next week we will be doing, hopefully, I'm going to try to get a guest on next week, a guest host on next week, guys. And we'll do our Super Bowl preview. And I'll give you my pick then. Anyway, if you're around my area, hunker down, guys. Get ready for this snow that's coming. They're saying it's going to be snow or nothing. So I'll take the snow over the ice any day. But, one last thing. I don't know if you got, we talk about wrestling on the fly. And one of my favorite things is the Royal Rumble, which is coming up Saturday night. ESPN has WWE. And I was watching whatever the show is Ryan Clark's on with Stephen A. Smith. And they had Seth Rollins, who was a WWE superstar there. He's been out of action for a while with rotator cuff. And I don't know if Ryan Clark gave away something or not, but you need to go watch it when he says, "You'll return to the ring at Royal Rumble." And Seth Rollins was like, whoa, wait a minute here. Wait a minute. Not saying I'm coming back. I don't know if Ryan Clark let the cat out of the bag or not, but it sure looked like it. But we'll see what the Royal Rumble is all about Saturday night. But, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thank you guys so much. If you want to check out more of the Final Score, check us out on YouTube. Check us out with Spotify, Apple Podcast. Give us a 5-star review if you don't mind, or subscribe to our YouTube page. Would help us out a lot. And be sure to, you guys have done great checking out my lives that I've done. I'm really, really happy about those. But anyway, we will see you next week, guys. Hopefully with a guest host. See you next week, and you guys have a great week. See you next time on the Final Score.